Hi, welcome to this video. Welcome to my channel. I am shooting another video for the thoughts and reflections beat here on my channel. So there's usually different playlists. You can just check them out if you've never before. So yeah, for today I'm just going to be sharing things I've been thinking about of late. And yeah, you can explore that playlist. Like, I do lessons I must learn, sometimes just some vlogs here and there. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Very happy with my hair. I think, I was just a bit hesitant. Not that I'm new to doing color per se, but I've never really done color where it's involved like having some form of cornrows, as you can see. So yeah, this was pretty different, and I'm not mad. I really thought I'd be out here looking or feeling very uncomfortable. Like when you don't like your hair, like no one can tell you anything. Like if you don't like it, I don't know, like all those compliments will mean nothing if you just be like, oh my goodness, this is so weird. So I'm happy that I'll actually like the hair. Yeah, so I'll start with something I came across that I had written, and it just reminded me, but I think I just need to buy a new journal because then I was using before, of course, nilimaliza. Yeah, so this is a notebook I use for just some notes on topics I discuss here or share, because sometimes I do need to maybe read a bit and seek professional advice online. So yeah, which I'm actually pretty excited for. I'll be shooting a video soon on people pleasing, and I've done quite a bit of like my research here and there, so I'm very excited to share about that in the coming weeks. But for today, what has been on my mind, we'll start with this one. So I came across something I had written. Then I was like, what is bothering me? So I was just, of course, releasing, expressing myself based on certain situations. And I'm reading it now, I'm just like, yeah, like I can just still feel how I was feeling. Yeah, I'm just like, oh yeah. But anyway, to the part I actually want to talk about. Okay, not talk about, but just share. I just wrote this title dramatic, then I just wrote like two sentences. I was like, dramatic title, yeah. And then the statement is, I take everything too hard, stroke too seriously, so I can't take a joke. So that was just, I was asking myself. And then I was like, is it bad to hold anything with weight? And then after that, this was just probably unrelated to whatever I was talking about before, but I was writing, helping a person is different from carrying their burden. So let's start with the dramatic bit. I think for a while, or let me say like maybe previously, someone would say like, oh, you're so dramatic or something of the sort. And I feel like for a while I was not so affected with that. Every single time it was said, blah blah. And I mean, if I'm being honest, most of the time I've had this phrase like, hey, you're so dramatic, whatever. I cannot speak for those people whether they meant it in jest or are just really being like, oh my god, you're so dramatic. But I've actually had it from men, which I mean could be not a surprise. And I just remember, like, I guess I just reached a point in my life where I was just like, but why would you say I'm dramatic? Because maybe I've reacted in a certain way, or because maybe I have felt certain emotions by a statement that someone has made. So if someone's statement maybe made me feel offended or sad or some type of way, it's just because I simply had a reaction, I'm dramatic. But I think it's actually very normal. And just me telling myself like, is it wrong to just hold things with weight? Like, sometimes I feel like that statement is made to pass off things to seem as they weren't necessarily that bad, or just to disguise them as a joke, which sometimes I think in real sense it was actually meant the way it landed and everything, but just to, I don't know, to gaslight you or something, I don't know. Now someone would be like, hey, you're being dramatic. Like, don't take things too seriously. But then I'm just like, so now every time you say something, I should be at the point where I am guessing, okay, are you being serious? Is it supposed to be a joke and stuff like that? And I think, yeah, you can have humor and comedy in conversations with people, but I just believe that sometimes you just know that when someone is just doing that, they're just escaping maybe accountability for how they're communicating to you certain things. So I feel like now it bugs me to be termed as dramatic, but then not to the point of it makes me want to react any different, because if you say something and I'm feeling hurt by it, I'll express that, yeah, this birthday was offensive to me, nini. So that's just one of those things I've just been thinking about lately, and I'm just like, yeah, when someone tells me, oh, you're being dramatic, yeah, it just does not sit well with me, because yeah, normal reactions, in my opinion, should not be termed as dramatic. Or just because I do not react the same way you do, and because I'm reacting to it differently, maybe if someone is used to being talked to in a certain way and that's okay for them, and just because it's not okay for me, I'm suddenly dramatic, dot. And I guess it just goes to this whole notion of also, most times, maybe as women being regarded to as crazy and all those things, but like side eye. So yeah, that's one of the things I've been thinking about. Second is, I came across, or rather, like, I was reading this chapter in the Bible, in Ecclesiastes chapter 11. You can just read through it, and it really sparked a lot of thoughts. And I think sometimes there's certain things you read, or like they even quote, you might know, like, the way perhaps everyone knows, in life there's a season for this and that, that type of stuff. But I guess until you find yourself experiencing that, you feel like those words now hold more weight for you in that season, or something of the sort. And for me, I think I just got some perspective, not that I didn't know, but then sometimes it's like, okay, like, all right, I see what is being said here. And basically just maybe highlighting some things that to me I took. So of course there were these illustrations being given about how, if you're going outside your house, and maybe I might be adding some information, so just go read the verses for yourself. Don't quote me, and I might just be misquoting the Bible. Yeah, so this is just my interpretation of it. So it's like you've gone out of the house, yeah, and you can see this heavy cloud. It's looking like it's going to rain, whatever. Then it does end up raining just outside your house, and I mean, it makes sense. Like, yeah, it will rain, and yeah, like, whatever. You might be having plans, and you decide, okay, because it's rained, maybe I don't want to leave the house, or whatever, right? But if it rains, let's say, the entire month, every single day, will that also make you not leave the house for the entire month? And yeah, you see, like, just starting to build your thoughts towards this example. Then another example is a tree, right? So this tree, let's say someone is cutting down this tree, whatever, then it falls on the right side. Like, realistically, that tree will just, where it's fallen, like, that's where it will stay. Like, it won't move unless maybe someone is physically moving it, but that's just where it will stay, right? And then if, for instance, let's say you're, also, like, there's wind blowing and stuff like that, and you're like, oh, I'm looking to plant, but then this wind might carry my seeds, if this wind is persisting, like, yeah, it's going to be constant. And if for you it being windy means that you won't plant your seeds, of course nothing will change if you'll just be focusing on the fact that the wind will just carry your seeds away. You won't even try to take a chance. And I guess, like, that's just how sometimes life is. You can easily find yourself to have gotten to this point where you can always find a justification or a reason of maybe why you don't want to do something, why you don't want to take a risk. You can be like, oh, this economy, quitting your job could be the dumbest thing ever. And I mean, if you're of course looking at maybe certain factors, you can be like, yeah, nini, nini. But then you'll never put yourself in a position to see what could have come of it. Like, who knows, like maybe much better could have come of it. And so, like, basically, like, those verses speak to also, I guess, taking chances, just, plant your seed here and there. Like, I guess just, you can just always try something new. You can just always try again, other things, many times, whatever. And I just thought it was just a very good reminder to have, I guess, for myself, even just moving life for like different things. I think once you release these limiting beliefs, you're always giving yourself a chance. You're giving yourself a shot at something even better. Because you never know, like, all these things could actually end up working. They may not end up working. One may end up working, but you will never know if each and every time you're consistently finding a reason or justification for why you shouldn't do something here and there. So, yeah, like, I was really thinking about it and just like, and like some part opportunity, it talks about how like it's good to have light, and like when you're going outside and like maybe the sun is shining. This is me adding some stuff. You'd feel like, oh, like those sun-kissed photos, golden hours, like it feels nice, yeah. But then when it's gloomy and dark, of course you're feeling like, oh, I don't like this so much. And life can sometimes actually be like that. And I mean, is going to be like that. And as we live more and longer, it means there'll still be good and bad actually. So if for like, let's say till till I cleared high school, maybe the challenges I faced till then were just, oh, maybe this school, maybe I don't like the food in school, I don't like that. Those were like, let's say, a certain number. But then post that you finish uni, and then the challenges you faced in uni, right? Like you perhaps struggled with certain classes, maybe you had to retake a paper, you had to retake a unit, maybe you didn't graduate to the honors you wanted, like stuff like that. So as you grow, it's like, yeah, there are more problems. I mean, also there are more good things, but it just calls to show that with more life, like you should also still be aware, I guess, that is just how life will continue to be. And I remember for a second I was telling myself, hey, then do I want to live long? Like, do I want to live long if it means like there'll be more maybe challenges or certain struggles or situations that I'll have in future? But then I'm just like, you know what, but there'll still also be more light, and there'll still be good days coming, and I'd want this light to be able to still take me through this moment. And I was thinking, this light could be, of course, those experiences, maybe just a reminder of like, okay, it is rough now, but we can, we will get to this good place. And then also at some point I was thinking also the light could be the community, your friends, like those are the people who could take you through these dark moments, and not in a way that I feel like I'm putting, or rather it's meant to put maybe undue pressure, whatever. But I think especially for women, you can say like your friendships are really very core for you in your life, or rather at least for me they are, especially my friendships with women. You're like, oh, sometimes what would you actually do like without your friends? Like I'm just like, yeah, like that to me is a big part of what I view my light as. It's like, yeah, but I won't be maybe going through this alone, and maybe in this situation someone could come through for you in a certain way, stuff like that. So that I think gave me some ease. But also the working message was just live life for me. Like it's just live, enjoy those days, enjoy your youth, enjoy now. Like every time like someone, okay, not every time, but I've seen, for instance, if it's someone's birthday, there are those who are like, I will enjoy today because I mean, even tomorrow I want to be as young as I am today. You know, like 10 years from now, you'd wish you were the age you currently are. So literally just enjoy your life now. Like really, really enjoy it with friends, just how it comes at you. Yeah, I guess maybe those are the things that have been on my mind. Oh, something else. Uh, so just a couple of maybe weeks or months back now, someone had asked me a question, and I just felt very, I don't know, it kind of made me kind like uncomfortable just because of the situation I was at in that moment. But I also remembered, or rather thought to myself at that time, if someone had asked me, let's say someone who I considered a closer friend, I probably wouldn't have felt that way. And then I also thought to myself, you know what, did eventually, like, this person in this case is asking you these things, yeah, and you're feeling some type of way because of where you are in the moment, but this person also has no knowledge that this is where you are in the moment, like you haven't communicated to them. And I mean, of course you haven't communicated to them because they are not that close to you. Yeah, and then I was just wondering, like, is it okay or fair or whatever to still have felt a certain way, like, you know, from that question being asked? Because I am sure I wouldn't have felt that way when someone else was asking, because someone else asked and they're closer to me, and it's like, you know, it did not really feel intrusive. Let me just say that, intrusive. So I started to think to myself, like, you know what, like, you know, are we getting, or like, am I getting to a point where it's like, by the way, maybe sometime just don't ask me anything. If you don't know me like that, don't just be asking. Just send me good wishes and best wishes and prayers and whatever, but just do not ask. And then I'm just like, but then is that like reasonable? Like, is there a reasonable margin for someone, like, okay, this is up to this point you can maybe ask about this, but beyond that, do not ask me. And if that's my sense of it, does that mean that, you know, these are boundaries I need to communicate and establish with this person? So yeah, that really was pretty, like, okay, it really made me take some steps back and just analyze and see if there's some changes I need to do. Because yeah, it was like, why am I feeling like this person shouldn't ask me this? And if they shouldn't ask me this, like, have I done anything to let them know that they shouldn't? And you know, like, maybe I could also be that person for someone else. Like, yeah, I could just be meddling. And another person is feeling the same, and then it's just because we have not each communicated that, by the way, I'm not comfortable sharing this, or by the way, if you have not seen me posting it or whatever, don't ask me about it, kind of thing, you know. So it's just that sometimes it's just kind of a dance. And it's like, sometimes when I do these question tags on Instagram, which I'm becoming very bad at responding to, or maybe I'm just intentionally not responding. I mean, of course, you open yourself up to certain questions, and then it's like, you know, you say, ask me anything, and then someone does ask you anything, and you never respond, and it's like, but you asked to be asked, you know. So yeah, such things. Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting to think about it. Like, yeah, you can still ask, but I still reserve the right not to answer, do I? And then it's like, okay, what's the point of asking then if you'll never answer? It's because maybe I'm asking and I'm regarding you with certain esteem that I'm expecting to reflect in your questions. Oh my days. Yeah, so that's it for this video. You can let me know what are some of the things you've been thinking about of late, and if you want to comment on anything I've shared, please go ahead and leave a comment. You can share my video with someone in your circle, and I mean also subscribe to my channel. Like, I'm so close to 500 subscribers. I mean, like, it would be nice to get there pretty soon. So yeah, please encourage people in your circle to also subscribe. I'd be very grateful. And yeah, see you on the next video where we talk about people pleasing. And let me tell you, when I was researching, I was like, wow, as in, can I just at myself at, you know, some of these things that I'm reading, and I'm like, whew, yeah. And I mean, of course, once you're searching these things on your phone, the TikToks also do not wait. They don't skip a beat. They will just show you. Yeah, anyway, see you in the next one for real. Bye bye.